Super Mario Sunshine is one of my favorite games of all time. However, what happens if we take out one of the main mechanics of the game? What if we make it so Mario cannot jump? Well, I'm going to give you a bit of a spoiler and say it gets interesting, so let's go ahead and see if you can beat Super Mario Sunshine without jumping. Now, the rules are simple. Any kind of jumping is not allowed for this challenge. This includes jumping, double jumping, triple jumping, side flipping, back flipping, spin jumping, and wall kicking. This does mean that diving and getting out of the dive are legal, which hey, he's using his arms, so that's definitely not a jump, come on. Also, I'm only going to be going through the difficult levels of the challenge because otherwise we'd be here for a long time. If you want to see the full run, I'll leave a link to my second channel that will compile all the levels in an easy to watch format. Now the objective is to beat Shadow Mario or the 7th level in every world, and glitches are 100% okay for this challenge. So now let's get started. Our first problem comes from Bianco 3. We can make it to the secret level by just going on this wall and hovering over to the cave, but then comes a real problem, the secret levels. The secret levels are tough because we don't even have FLUDD with us anymore. However, we can use dives to maneuver our way up these platforms. Then we can dive on top of this stump and ground pound right away, collecting the shine as we do in every secret level. Then we come across our second problem, Bianco 6. Bianco 6 is tough because even before the secret level we need to make our way across a poisonous pond. We end up making it there by going all the way to the top of this windmill and then using the rocket nozzle to make it all the way over to these logs, before using the rocket nozzle again to make it in the level. Now this is another tough but not impossible secret level. We need to be patient and use our dives to cross the platforming. It's especially difficult in this section, but after a few tries the deed was done. Bianco 7 is easy, and now we're on to Gelato 1, which is definitely possible without hovering, it's just not worth the effort. We have to cross many sand blocks in the secret level without FLUDD, and why would we do that if there's a better and cooler way of getting through? We can skip almost every level in Gelato with Gelato Skip, a glitch that lets you get the shine for Gelato 8 in any Gelato stage. Now the problem is we can't jump to set it up, but thankfully we can get a Cataquack to follow us while carrying a coconut. We can guide the creature to this hut, get it to send us up into the sky, set up so we are standing in the right place, drop the fruit here without changing our angle, and then run against it until we clip through the roof and hover our way over to the shine. Now we have access to Gelato 7, and we can beat Shadow Mario and be on our way. Next we go to Rico Harbor, and the first area of trouble is Rico 3. We need to make it to the shine in the cage, but it seems really unlikely without jumps or a rocket nozzle, which we can't get to without jumping. However, I found a strategy. First, we need to get higher with this moving platform. We can then make our way to this platform with a hover nozzle, and then we can hover our way to the different roofs of these buildings. Now we just need to go on the metal bars from here before making it to this part right by the cage. You need to let yourself drop and start hovering at the right time so you grab the bottom of the cage. The timing is tricky but possible. After this, it's as simple as pressing A to get into the cage and collecting the shine. Rico 4 is a similar strategy where we get onto the bars the same way as before, then we need to slide and hover our way over to these platforms, barely making it and entering the secret level. The secret level isn't bad, it's just a bunch of well-timed dives and rolls. This level needs a lot of patience like a lot of the secret levels, but it's definitely not the hardest one of the bunch. Now we have a third problem in Rico 6. We need to collect all the different red coins using a blooper, but there's one red coin in the air. However, we can cancel our blooper ride by slamming into this random Pianta and make our way to the rising platform before gliding to the last red coin and later collecting our star. That's the last difficult part of Rico, so we can move on. Pinna Park is next, and this is also where it gets difficult. Pinna 3 is a red coin level with some very high up coins. However, we have unlimited time and we can just climb high and make it to the coins, one by one. Yeah, it's a really slow process. Next, Pianta 6 starts easy enough. We just need to get Yoshi and make our way to the secret level. However, the secret level is really tough. We need to pass this area using dives, and there's a really small margin of error. It can definitely be done though. Well, that's until we get to the point where it can't be done. We reach an area that is impossible to move past without jumping in some way. So that means Pinna 6 is officially impossible, and so is the challenge. However, there are plenty of more levels with plenty of more cool techniques left, and maybe we can complete the challenge for every level but the secret levels. So let's keep going. And also we might come back to this level in one way or another. Who knows? Anyway, we beat Pinna 7 easy, and now it's time to move on to Serena Beach. However, before getting there, we need to unlock Yoshi. We kill Shadow Mario, but then there's the issue of getting Yoshi onto the roofs without jumping, since we don't have access to FLUDD. What we can do is reset Yoshi to his natural position and continue resetting until he wants papayas. Then we can jump off this man's head, grab a papaya and throw it over to Yoshi before getting him. Then we need to flutter our way to the pineapple, making some precise jumps and finally giving Yoshi the meal he deserves before entering Serena. Serena 1 isn't hard, but oh god is it annoying. Sorry, that's all I wanted to say about it. Then Serena 2 is where it actually gets hard. Making it to the secret level requires spraying the enemies to make them into platforms at precise places, then hovering over one by one. It took many tries, but eventually we made it up and could make it to the secret level, but yeah, right away we learned the secret level is impossible. We have no way of making it through these platforms, and even less of a way once we get here where we need to use wall jumps. Therefore, this is our second impossible level. We do make up for that with a cool strategy in Sirena 3 though. We grab a banana from this random dude and bring it all the way upstairs. Then we can set the banana in a specific place and hover with our back towards it to clip through the wall, before clipping through this glass and making it to the shrine. We can't do the level normally because we just barely can't get enough height here, so we need to do the clip with the banana. Then Sirena 4 is another secret level with more tight jumps, but that's about it. It isn't too hard. And then the rest of Sirena is nice and easy. Now it's time for Noki, and Noki starts out difficult. Noki 1 starts with having to climb up very high and defeat an evil mole at the top of the level. I was able to get pretty high by making my way up here before sliding and hovering all the way across the map. We can then hover again to make it to this platform, and then we can get to the mole by getting 3 jumps off our enemy's spiky balls before hovering over and finishing off the mole. Noki 2 is very similar in that we get to this point in the map, but hover to this shell building. Now we can make our way into this hole in the wall before barely making it to a few more areas in the wall. This is tight and scary. There's a joke in there somewhere. Then all we have to do is hover over to the spring so we can clip through the map by throwing the spring at the wall and diving to the shrine. We need to do this because defeating the blooper boss like normal is not possible, as we would need to wall jump to him. Eventually we make it to Noki 6. Here we can make it to the secret level with similar means as Noki 1 and 2, but it becomes impossible from there. You can't make it up this wall without wall jumping, and that's also true for many more places in the level. Yeah, the secret levels kinda suck for this challenge. At least Noki 7 is possible. You can either quickly kill Shadow Mario, or you're gonna have to slowly go all the way to the top like in Noki 1 and 2 to make it to him again. That's slime, mother. So that's 3 impossible secret levels, but we only have 1 more world and Bowser. Now our first issue in Piazza Village comes from Pianta 3, the level with lava everywhere where we don't have Flood to help us. We need to get past all this lava without touching it and dying. What we can do is make our way over to the top of this tree to perform an extremely precise dive roll and barely make it to this platform before getting to Flood. Then we make it back up to the top of the tree before sliding and hovering over to the mayor, saving him and continuing on with our day. Pianta 5 also presents problems, and we need to take Yoshi to the bottom of the map and get him to spray some nasty goo to enter a secret level. Luckily, we can skip Yoshi altogether with Yoshi Skip. To perform this trick, you walk into this tree at this position, hover back when you clip through, grab onto the ledge, press B to release your grab, and start hovering backwards a tiny bit later to clip into the secret level. Then we use the Piantas to throw us across the level before making it to the shrine, but not before a bit more tricky platforming. The rest of Pianta is easy, and now we can beat the game. So it's time for Corona Mountain. Well, after we get there. We need to make our way to this awning cover thing. That'll make us bounce. Then we need to bounce off this Pianta's head 3 times to get enough height to make it to the level. The platforming in the level isn't very difficult since we can still hover. It requires a bit of patience because if you go at the wrong time, you can't jump to save yourself, but it isn't that bad. Then we cross the lava with our boat before rocket nozzling up to the final boss fight. Yeah, Bowser isn't more difficult at all without jumping. It's kind of played like normal. And that's how we get to the end of the game, where we get to watch Flood die before realizing how impossible this challenge was. There were 3 different levels that we couldn't complete. That's a lot. And also, I'm not really satisfied with it, so why don't we change up the rules a bit? In the Jumpless Mario Sunshine speedrunning category, the rules are the same as mine, except they allow wall jumping. See, it's often called wall kicking, so one can make the argument that it isn't a jump at all, just a kick. Alright, well here's a montage. and that's how you beat Super Mario Sunshine without jumping. Kinda. To be honest, I still think wall kicking is a form of jumping, but I thought the strategies were just too cool to not include in the video, even if they took me way too long to perform. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any ideas for challenges you want me to tackle next, make sure you post them in my Discord channel, as we have a place specifically for that, and I'll give you proper credit if I do your challenge. Also, obviously, subscribe to the channel to see more, as I'm going to do a lot more stuff like this, and finally go follow my Twitch if you want to see me attempt these things live. Okay, enough shilling. Goodbye!